You're looking at a live shot of a wildfire that broke out west of Peachland around 2 o'clock this afternoon. I'm Rob Gibson reporting live from the scene. We're just staging at the Peachland Public Works building. Now behind me you can see some of the BCWS wildland firefighters rallying. The Peachland Fire Department is on the scene. The RCMP have got Princeton Avenue blocked off right now. We were set up at the top of the Peachland Riding Club. They are moving the horses out of a precaution. Some of the houses that are right here are still in their homes. They have not been told to evacuate. You can hear the helicopters behind me. They are using the creek down below to drop water on the wildfire. You can see it candling over my right shoulder. There's the sun, a bright orange glow as the smoke kind of causes a haze. You can see the wildland firefighters are heading out right now. These are the ground crews. They'll be trying to establish some kind of a perimeter. You can see candling in the trees. The smoke is very thick in the air right now. Talking to some of the residents, they say that this is the closest that they've seen this fire come. There was another fire. You can see a peak over there. It's not in the camera shot, but there was a fire here a few years ago. So this fire is working towards that burned out area. If the two meet, that's going to help the firefighters control this blaze. You can see that we're getting a shot of that peak right there. You can see where the fire crested that hill. This fire that's currently working its way towards Peachland. The wind has picked up and it is blowing that way. You can see the candling in behind me. The choppers are hitting it. They're dropping very low and picking up water from the creek. There is an ATV site back in there. You can hear the choppers. They're working against the daylight right now because we are losing our light. But this fire is still out of control. It's grown to about 10 hectares at this point. You can taste the smoke in the air. You can smell it. Ash is dropping. I haven't seen any kind of embers at this point, but certainly if you're facing the wind, you can feel it in your mouth and in your eyes. You can taste the smoke. As I mentioned earlier, the Peachland Riding Club isn't taking any chances. They're moving their horses before they have to. They're trying to make sure that the horses remain calm. They just said it is simply too close to comfort, according to Keeley Portsmouth. Earlier in the day, I spoke with Wayne Stewart, a resident of the nearby Pine Hills Mobile Home Park. He was walking his dog coming back. He had just walked through that area, and he indicated that that area is heavily used by ATVers and other off-roaders, and he says that it broke out down by a wooden bridge down in that area. Earlier, you could see black smoke was coming up from that area. Most of this smoke is white, but black smoke obviously indicates some kind of a structure fire. We have no idea whether that bridge is still intact. We've just seen several firefighters, Peachland firefighters, heading down that road. They're heading down towards the water treatment plant. We've got the Kelowna Fire Department is here on scene as well. It's all hands on deck because this fire, while relatively small in size, we are battling the elements right now, and it is a all hands on deck scenario. There's a water treatment plant at the bottom of this hill. This is the public works area. They store gasoline and other flammables here. There's another storage area down below. Same type of situation. They're storing trailers down there. There are boats down there. There's fuel in that area as well. It's a volatile situation. I don't mean to ramp up the tension, but I can tell you right now everyone is doing their best to maintain this scenario. There have been a lot of people who have in the area have come to look. They've left, and they have told me privately that they're packing a go bag and they are ready to go. Again, you can still see through the haze some of the candling that's happening right now. You can see the BCWS wildfire firefighters in the background. This has become the rally point here at the Peachland Public Works building. It's Pierce Street is the street. At the end of that street, there's the water treatment plant. That's obviously a high priority. We got the Kelowna Fire Department is pulling in right now. We've got the structure protection unit that is heading down to the water treatment center right now. They're pulling into the public works area as we speak. So we can tell you that it is indeed all hands on deck, and it's good to see those guys, I can tell you right now. They got here extremely quickly. The helicopters were on this very quickly. They have been hitting it with retardant. There's a bird dog in the air making sure that the helicopters know what they're doing and what their flight paths are, but it is extremely difficult to see. You can see behind me how hazy it is. Visibility is very poor because of the smoke. The wind has not been helping. Obviously, it's a huge factor in how this fire has been developing and blowing. This valley heads right towards Peachland, and there is still enough wood and enough fuel down there. If it were to take off, then it could be a real problem. So they're not taking any chances. You can hear the choppers. They're going hard as fast as they can right now. They've been dropping water all afternoon long. That's one of the reasons why there is so much smoke. There's the retardant Coulson plane. They've been passing. They're trying to pick their spots. They're trying to protect these structures. Obviously, the water treatment plant and this public works building are extremely important. We couldn't get any further earlier in the day. I tried to get up Princeton Avenue as far as I could. I was stopped by the RCMP. They're on point right here, making sure that everybody stays safe. This area is blocked off. They've allowed us to stay here. They've been kind enough to help us out. They understand that we're trying to help. I don't know, Maddie, is this the closest we've ever been to a fire? We've been very close before, but this is probably the closest. Exactly. We can see the candling. Madison, I'm here with Madison Reeve. This is probably our 6th fire that we've done together. She's operating the camera right now. She's zooming in on the candling. You can see that the area, there's hot spots. There are embers that are moving. The bombers are on it. They're dropping retardant. The helicopters are dropping as much water as they can. They appear to be dropping down low into the creek and picking up water as much as they can, and then they're swinging the bucket out to drop it over because it's extremely dangerous for these guys. Because of the wind, the choppers are having difficulty, and then of course the fire creates its own kind of a vacuum. We've got another tanker truck pulling in right now. And there's some BCWS wildfire firefighters here. We've got the Peachland Fire and Rescue guys who've just showed up. They're heading down towards the structure, heading down Princeton Avenue.
Rank 3, rank 4.
We've got rank 3 and rank 4 candling right now. The last check we had was 10 hectares. That this fire, it started at 2 o'clock and it's already, because of the wind and the situation that we're dealing with, it's already grown to 10 hectares despite the best efforts of the BCW Wildfire Service. The Peachland Fire Department is here. The Kelowna Fire Department is here. I'm sure the West Kelowna crew is here as well. I simply haven't seen them, haven't laid eyes on them. They're splitting up. They're heading down Pierce Street and up Princeton Avenue, trying to make sure that they do everything they can to protect this structure. The RCMP have allowed us to set up here at this rally point. We are right outside the Peachland Public Works building, and we're doing our best to bring you the latest information. As of this point, no one has been officially asked to evacuate. Some people, like the Peachland Riding Club, has chosen to move. They had horses to move. They don't want to spook those horses. They don't want to get they don't want to take any chance of that fire coming even close to those horses. So they took the opportunity to move those horses around 4:20 this afternoon. And they informed me that they've got friends and they're just going to move those horses to a safer location just in case. Out of an abundance of caution, they simply do not want to take any chances. You can see other people who live in the area now are coming home after work. We're almost at 5:30 now. Some people are just coming home from a day of work to find that this fire is virtually on their doorsteps. Again, if you're just tuning in, I'm Rob Gibson reporting live from the scene of a wildfire that broke out just west of Peachland. We're at the intersection of Pierce Street and Princeton Avenue. You can hear the helicopters. They've been flying over us all afternoon. I've been here since just after 3:30 as soon as we got the call. We've had tremendous support from some of the people who have helped to provide us with video and information so that we can bring you the latest information. The BC Wildfire Service is here on scene. It's very hectic, otherwise I'd try to get one of these individuals to give me a live interview so they can give us the latest update. As of now, there are no evacuations, with the exception of the Peachland Riding Club that did a voluntary evacuation of their horses, because that takes some time, and obviously they wanted to get their ducks in a row and make sure that the horses were in a safe space. As I mentioned earlier, police have closed off Princeton Avenue near the Peachland Riding Club. Earlier today, I spoke with Wayne Stewart. He lives in the nearby Pine Hills Mobile Home Park, and he indicated that he's extremely anxious. He said to me that he's never seen a fire this close to his home. He lives just over here. He was walking his dog, and what he told me as he left was that he's going to go and pack a go bag. A couple of other folks I spoke to down there said the same thing. A couple of them just moved in a month ago. One of them is doing some renovations to her kitchen, and she expects cabinets, etc. She's got everything in her life is in her trailer, and you know, if this fire gets any closer, then she's going to have to leave that all behind and pack up. Last estimate we have is that this fire is 10 hectares in size. You can hear the planes. Sometimes it's difficult to see them through the haze and through the smoke, which is extremely heavy. You can taste it in the air and obviously smell it. We've just gotten word that this wildfire has now been updated. The size of the wildfire has been updated. It broke out at 2 o'clock. It grew quickly to 10 hectares in size. It is now doubled to 20 hectares in size. Obviously, that is an extreme concern. The BC Wildfire Service says the wildfire has grown to 20 hectares. Air tankers are currently actioning the northeast flank of the fire to slow the spread of the blaze. Their crews are on site. We have seen them. They're establishing access, and they're assessing objectives, and they're working into the evening. The BCWS has issued that statement to Castanet. The fire is currently displaying rank 3 fire behavior. That means moderately vigorous surface fire with a moderate rate of spread, but the wind is not helping. You can see how windy it is here. The fire is threatening the Monroe Lake Forest Service Road and the Peachland Main Road, according to the BC Wildfire Service. Now, we saw some of those guys heading that way. That's the direction that they're going. They're probably going to try to establish a kind of a perimeter around that to see what they can do. As I mentioned earlier, the water treatment plant is down there, and they are working to save that one. There's the West Kelowna Fire Crew, Fire and Rescue, the Incident Command. It just arrived on the scene. I'm sure there are other individuals here, but these are the ones that I've seen with my own eyes. Again, if you're just joining us, I'm Rob Gibson, live at the scene of a wildfire that broke out here just west of Peachland earlier this afternoon around 2 o'clock. It started off at around 10 hectares. As of now, 5:30, it has grown to 20 hectares in size. The BC Wildfire Service is here. Peachland, while the firefighters are here, fire department is here, the West Kelowna Fire Department is here, the Kelowna Fire Department is here. It is all hands on deck. You can hear the helicopters around me. They're difficult to see with all of the smoke. It's difficult to breathe. But everybody is doing everything they can to keep this fire from spreading any further. You can still see some candling in behind me right now, and this is what they're dealing with. But as you can also see, you can't see in there. Here comes a helicopter right now, but in order for him to get access to that fire, he would just be guessing. And I can only imagine what the wind and the vortex. There's a huge candling situation right there. I think those flames speak for themselves. You're looking at a live shot of a wildfire that broke out just west of Peachland around 2 o'clock this afternoon. It grew quickly to 10 hectares and has since doubled in size to 20 hectares. BC Natural Resources officers are here as well, helping to coordinate. Residents in the neighborhood are extremely nervous and on edge. Some of them have packed their go bags and they are ready to go. The Peachland Riding Club has already evacuated their horses. Smoke is drifting in. I'm not sure if the camera can pick that up, but to the eye, it's extremely heavy. Very windy situation right now. Now you're looking at the Peachland Riding Club. We were set up at the top of that riding center, but we couldn't get a cell service. This area, according to residents, is notoriously poor for cell service. Many of the people here can't make cell phone calls. We've managed to get our operation up and running, and I've managed to send back as much video and information as I can to Colin Dacre, who is busy updating the site as best we can. Madison Reeve is here with me. She's operating the camera. Lots of nervous people around. The BC Wildfire Service has already indicated that this fire has grown from 10 to 20 hectares. Air tankers are actioning the northeast flank of the fire, and it is spreading slowly. We've got another fire truck pulling up onto the scene right now. Structure protection units. There is a water treatment tank at the end of Pierce Street. We've seen several of the units heading that way. There's Peachland Fire and Rescue on the scene, heading up Princeton Avenue, following some of the other structure protection individuals. Right now, you can see the BCWS firefighters are setting up hoses on top of the Peachland Public Works building. They're not taking any chances. That's the Kelowna Fire Department Structure Protection Unit. Are going to work to do what they can to hose, to keep this right over top of our heads. Here comes a helicopter. Heading straight into the smoke and the flames. I can only imagine how difficult it is to fly one of those helicopters in these type of conditions, but these guys do it all the time. The real issue here is the wind. There's more candling. You can see when the wind gusts, the flames just take off. Can't even see the flames at this point. There's the West Kelowna Incident Command. The Kelowna Fire Department is, as I mentioned, is on the scene. The Peachland Fire Department is here. They set up here at a rally point. They're putting hose lines out here at the Peachland Public Works building. BC Wildfire is here as well. You can see some of the people who have obviously been in the back country. Person pulling a trailer, another person who looks like they've been camping, heading down Princeton Avenue, heading back towards Peachland. Here come the police officers. Obviously they've been out letting people know about the fire, making sure that they get to safety. RCMP officers have been up Princeton Avenue doing their best to let anybody who is in the area know about the wildfire and that they should evacuate immediately. I'm talking about campers, I'm talking about people who are in the backcountry recreating. Here comes another chopper with a bucket. You can see the water flying out the back of the bucket as the Kelowna Fire Structure Protection Unit continues to work methodically to set up a sprayer system around the Peachland Public Works building. There's some serious candling there. The air support is obviously battling daylight. We're losing our daylight. The days are getting shorter. Air support obviously necessary. This is a valley. Extremely difficult for these firefighters to get access any other way than from the air. They have been hitting it hard. They have limited some of the spread, but as you can see right there, I don't even know if that's a kilometer away. That's very close. I can tell you that there's no panic with these firefighters. They're doing their job methodically. Air support is doing everything they can to douse these flames before they can get any closer to any houses or structures. More major candling going on behind the building. If you're just joining us, you are looking at a live shot of a wildfire that broke out west of Peachland around 2 o'clock this afternoon. It quickly grew to 10 hectares in size. Since that time, it has now doubled to 20 hectares in size. You can see the major candling. Despite the best efforts of the air crews, they have been hitting it with the helicopters. We've had some, haven't seen any skimmers at this point, but the retardant plane has come by and dropped several loads. They are trying to protect several structures. There's a water treatment plant at the end of Pierce Street. You're looking at the Peachland Public Works building. That's where we rally point. This is where everyone is set up. The RCMP have let us stay in this situation. You can see the BC Wildfire Service team is here, and the Kelowna Structure Protection are doing what they can to set up hose lines on the Peachland Public Works building. We're told that this fire is acting in a rank 3 to rank 4, depending on what the wind is doing. Right now, the wind is gusting at times. There was some rain in the forecast, but it does not look like that is going to happen. You can see the spotter plane has been flying around all afternoon, helping the helicopters determine the best spots to drop their water. BCWS is here coordinating with their land crews. They have all head down Princeton Avenue in order to set up a protection line. If you're just joining us, I'm Rob Gibson reporting live from the scene of a wildfire that broke out west of Peachland earlier this afternoon around 2 o'clock. It quickly grew to 10 hectares in size. It has now doubled. The latest report we had was 20 hectares in size. You can see the candling. You can see the thick black smoke. The air is heavy with smoke right now. So far, there haven't been any evacuation orders or notices or alerts that we're aware of. The Peachland Riding Club did evacuate their horses out of an abundance of caution. They just didn't want to take any chances, and that was probably the right call. You can see how black and thick the smoke is. As the sun goes down, it becomes easier to see the flames. At this point, BCWS does not know what caused this fire, but we do not believe there was any lightning. And the area where it started is a popular spot for ATVer and off-roaders. Again, major candling. Here we are almost at the end of September, dealing with another major wildfire. You can hear the choppers flying all around us. Here comes another bucket chopper. We'll see where that chopper winds up. Again, you're looking at a live shot of a wildfire that broke out west of Peachland around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Fire is now listed at 20 hectares in size. Bucket choppers have been working this fire since it broke out. You can see the Kelowna Fire Department structure protection crew has set up water lines on the Peachland Public Works building in order to protect that building. They will have done something similar with the water treatment plant, which is down at the end of Pierce Street. We've seen several campers and the like go by, heading towards Peachland from the backcountry. Anybody who is back there and has cell service and sees this, you should leave the area. At this point, it's not safe. More major candling. This fire is displaying rank 3 and rank 4 behavior. Hear more sirens. We would advise people, if you don't need to be in this area, you shouldn't be here. There's a car just pulling a U-turn right there. It got in the way of some of the fire trucks. These firefighters need room to do their work. Yeah, fires don't usually go downhill, do they? I'm gonna go and see I'm going to give you the microphone, Madison. I'm going to go and see who these firefighters are. I think it's West Kelowna, but I just want to make sure. Yeah, it's going the wrong way. It's coming our way and heading towards Peachland.
For those just joining us, this wildfire west of Peachland broke out just after 2 o'clock this afternoon. Is now estimated at 20 hectares in size. BCWS says air tankers are currently actioning the northwest, or the northeast rather, flank of the fire to slow the fire spread. Over the last half an hour, we've seen pretty intense candling, rank 3, rank 4, according to BC Wildfire, which is moderately vigorous surface fire and a moderate rate of speed. And of course, this wind, the strong wind, is not helping the firefight. And we do know it's late September, almost into October, but it's been very dry over the last several months. We haven't had too much rain, so although it is heading into October, the conditions feel like July and August, really. So not great for a wildfire currently, but we've got Lake Country just pulled up here on the scene to help fight this fire, along with the Kelowna Fire Department, Peachland, West Kelowna, and of course BC Wildfire Service.
Yeah, it's all hands on deck here for sure, Madison. You can hear the choppers going right over top of us right now. Heading straight for the flames. The Lake Country Fire Department just pulled up on the scene. This is a highly active and evolving situation. They're trying to get the latest information. They need to know where to go. They need to know what the priorities are. You can see the BC Wildfire Service is on the scene. This is the rally point at the Peachland Public Works Building. The Kelowna Fire Department Structure Protection Team has put up hoses across the building to make sure. You can see right behind us, that white structure right there, that's all fuel. Great shot, Madison. You can see how when they drop the water, immediately the smoke rises up. Fires don't typically go down hills. This one is. Now they've turned the water on for the structure protection unit. They're spraying all across the area. That white tank right there is full of fuel. Hi. You're right, it doesn't look good.
No.
But it is all hands on deck. If it's possible to put this out, it will be done.
The good news is we don't necessarily know currently, but we don't believe that there are homes in the near vicinity of.
No.
Okay.
These ones to our left are the closest homes. But now it's really picking up behind the structure. You can see all the smoke. This is an all hands on deck situation. We have firefighters here from Peachland, West Kelowna, Lake Country. Of course, the BC Wildfire Service is here. We've got the air support. You can hear it all around us. The sprinklers have been activated. The one thing I would say about this situation, as bad as it looks from our vantage point, is that this is not the first time these guys have done it. If anybody can do this, save these structures and put this fire out, it's these firefighters. Yeah, that is black smoke. Again, if you're just joining us, you are looking at a live shot of a wildfire that broke out around 2 o'clock this afternoon, just west of Peachland. The BC Wildfire Service air support, aerial attack have been battling this blaze since it started. They continue to hit it. The fire right in front of us is actually burning down the hill, which is never a good sign. They seem to have managed to stop it from progressing towards Peachland, but you can see the candling. Look how close he is to those flames. Look at the candling. He's almost flying right through the fire.
We are very close.
Courage.
Yes.
Extremely
It's
close.
very impressive what they do.
Look at the black smoke that came out of that. Serious candling. The last report we had from the BC Wildfire Service indicated that the fire is behaving in a rank 3 and a rank 4 situation. You can see the candling. You can see the heavy black smoke here on the ground. You can smell it, you can taste it. The air support continues to hit it with water from above. Extremely close to those flames. These pilots have to get so close in order to drop the water in the spots where it can do the most to douse the flames or to prevent the spread. You can see the retardant plane is coming around again. They are circling. They are prepared to drop more retardant, it appears, but they always want to make sure they get the exact spot. There's a chopper flying right over top of us. I'm Rob Gibson reporting live with Madison Reeve at the scene of a wildfire that broke out around 2 o'clock west of Peachland. You can see and hear the helicopter aerial support. They are going full out to try to douse these blazes. The Kelowna Fire Structure Protection Team has set up a hose system around the Peachland Public Works building to try to protect that structure. Obviously, there are vehicles and fuel stored at this location. Here comes more of the BC Wildfire Service, the ground support teams. We've got 3 of them just pulling up. We've got 4 of them heading up Princeton Avenue. These guys are driving into the hottest spots. You've got another BC Wildfire Command Center. I can't read that door. Just pulled in. The structure protection Swan Lake Fire Department has shown up BX. That's Vernon. Again, all hands on deck. The Kelowna Fire Department Structure Protection Unit is now heading down Pierce Street. They're going towards the Water Treatment Center. They've got this, the hoses are set up on the Peachland Public Works building. They're probably going to do something similar with the water treatment plant down below. The choppers, you can see them continuing to drop fire. This wildfire is burning down the hill, extremely unusual activity. The wind, if there's a good news scenario here, it's that the wind seems to have died down. And we now have everybody from a firefighter perspective who could be in the region are here. Choppers continue to hit this blaze with everything that they have. It is burning in a very steep location. At Buckets now, just behind the Peachland Public Works building. You can see the chopper is hovering and he's just about to drop his load of water. Fortunately, Okanagan Lake is close enough for them to get there and back in mere minutes. It's been a constant, steady barrage of choppers dropping water on the blaze. The retardant plane has been circling. They have dropped some retardant. You can see that they've got the hose structures, the hoses up around the Peachland Public Works building. Here he comes. He's dropping his retardant right now. Going to set up, there he goes. He's dropped the line. They've established the line. The ground crews will be doing the best they can to set up a ground perimeter. They're dropping a line of retardant to prevent it from spreading any further towards Peachland. You can see another chopper is coming into the fire at this point. Look at how close he is to those flames. And the spotter plane is still circling, helping these pilots pick the exact spots. They look for hot spots. They use their technology, and they try to get the spots that are most likely to be the hottest and to spread. You can see the candling, but the heat reads differently to their instruments. The fire structure protection team seems to be setting up near some of the homes, very close to a couple that I spoke with earlier today who just moved to this location about a month ago. They thought that they were past wildfire season. They were wrong. There's the spotter plane, constantly circling, trying to identify the hot spots. What we can see with our eyes aren't necessarily the hot spots. Choppers have been doing constant work, dropping their water to try to prevent the fire from spreading. If there is good news, it has not progressed any further than what you're looking at. This is the line that they want to hold it at. There are homes just to our left, your screen left. There are homes there. You're looking at the Peachland Public Works building. There is fuel, there are trucks, there's other flammable substances at this location. The RCMP are asking people who don't need to be in the area to not be in the area. We've just got an update from the BC Wildfire Service as another chopper goes in to drop its load. The wildfire is now estimated at 74.3 hectares. It grew from nothing at 2 o'clock to 10 hectares to 20 hectares, and now it's 6:06, 74.3 hectares in size as the helicopters and air tankers hit this fire hard. Obviously, that fire is spreading in the other direction. They're trying to stop this blaze from getting any closer to these structures and any closer to the town of Peachland. More ground crews have arrived on the scene from BC Wildfire, and of course, Lake Country and the BX Swan Lake Fire Department are here as well. The Kelowna Fire Department Structure Protection Unit has moved on from the Peachland Public Works building. They're now working on the area where I was talking to a couple of residents about an hour and a half ago. So far, we have not heard of any evacuation alerts or evacuations. That tells me that they're optimistic that they can prevent this fire from spreading any further in the Peachland direction, at least at this point. But as I just mentioned, this fire has grown to 74.3 hectares in size in about 4 hours' time. The winds were extremely gusty earlier this afternoon. They appear to have died down. That has to help the firefighters. We are racing against the daylight now. The days are getting shorter and the sun is going down. Earlier today, I spoke to Keely Portsmouth with the Peachland Riding Club, and she wasn't taking any chances. Around 4:20, she decided to evacuate her horses just in case. She was very calm about it. She said, out of an abundance of caution, we simply do not want to take any chances with our horses. They've got community support. They've got a place for those horses to be stabled, and they've taken a precautionary move and moved them out of there. I spoke with some of the people who live very close by. At this point, they are still in their homes, but obviously very concerned and very nervous. Looks like the fire started just after 2 o'clock this afternoon, around 2:06. We got a call from a Castanet reader. And again, I just want to thank all of our loyal audience for helping us to serve you. We are a part of this community. We are here to help. We are in the rally point. We are surrounded by the fire department, the BC Wildfire Service, and the RCMP. We are staying out of their way. We're doing our best to keep you informed, and we'll be the first to tell you if there are any evacuation alerts or any other situation that you need to know about. You can see the heavy air traffic as it goes back and forth. You can see the water being poured onto the Peachland Public Works building. The BC Wildfire Service ground crews have valiantly headed up Princeton Avenue towards the blaze. They're going to try to establish a ground perimeter. We don't know if it's jumped the bridge. We don't know if it's jumped the creek. Earlier today, I could see helicopters getting very low. They must have been picking up water from the creek. That tells me that the fire wasn't that close, but it is going in the wrong direction. These fires typically don't go downhill unless they're being blown. You can see the smoke, you can see another helicopter coming into the frame, about to dump a load of water, try to contain this blaze. Clearly they have identified a hot spot that is behind the Peachland Public Works building. We were at a higher vantage point earlier today, but the cell service in this area is notoriously poor, and we could not get our equipment to work from that location. We've been doing our best to bring you the latest information. As I mentioned earlier, this fire broke out around 2:06 this afternoon. It grew to 10 hectares in size. Quickly doubled in size to 20. It has now reached 74.3 hectares in size as helicopters and air tankers are hitting this fire hard. We've seen one plane drop a line of retardant. I saw some earlier as well. They are in the area, they are available, and they are doing their best to set up a perimeter to contain this fire from spreading any closer to the town of Peachland or these houses that are on your screen left. Obviously, the Kelowna Fire Department structure protection team has set up the hoses on the building to try and protect it. They are working on a perimeter right now around some of the homes that are on your screen left.
Smoke. You guys need us to move?
Thank you. Let us know, we're here to help. Fire crews are operating right around us. As I mentioned earlier, we're in the middle of the command post. That's the Lake Country Fire Department right now behind us. BCWS is here, obviously firefighting, hitting it from the air. They've got the ground crews trying to establish a perimeter. The Kelowna Fire Department structure protection team has already established some hose lines on the top of the building, on the Public Works building, Peachland Public Works building. They are now establishing hose lines around some of the homes. On screen left, we're also hearing word that evacuations might be in the works. We'll bring you the latest information as soon as we have it. As I mentioned earlier, this fire has grown to 74.3 hectares in size since it broke out at 2 o'clock this afternoon. RCMP have told us that anybody who doesn't have to be in this area should not be in this area. There are still cars driving up here and having to pull a U-turn. The fire trucks are trying to position themselves. They have to turn themselves around. We don't need any more traffic up in this area. We have checked with the fire services and they have given us the thumbs up to stay here. That tells me that we are not in danger. This is the rally point. If you're just joining us, you are looking at a live shot of a wildfire that broke out west of Peachland around 2 o'clock this afternoon. It started off fairly small, grew to 10 hectares in size, quickly doubled to 20 hectares in size, and is now 74.3 hectares in size. This is an all-hands-on-deck situation. Fire departments from across the Okanagan are here. BX, Swan Valley, Peachland, West Kelowna, Kelowna, Lake Country. The BC Wildfire Service is here, obviously. You can hear the air support. The choppers are non-stop. Latest information that we have is this fire has grown to 74.3 hectares in size. We've been informed that evacuation alerts may be in the works. We're asking that you stand by. We'll give you the information as quickly as we have it. Obviously, you can read Castanet. We are live on Castanet right now. You can read the latest information on Castanet. We're in a bad cell service spot. We're doing our best to keep our operation going. As you can hear the helicopters. An evacuation order has now been issued for 325 addresses due to what they're now calling the Monroe Lake wildfire. The evacuation area impacts the following addresses on Princeton, in the Princeton Avenue area. You can find a full list of the evacuations on our website. And an interactive map is there as well. Being asked to follow the direction of emergency personnel, shut off all gas and electrical appliances other than your refrigerators and freezers. You're being asked to close your doors and your windows. Close all gates, but do not lock them. Gather your family, and if you have room, take a neighbor or someone needing transportation. Do not use more vehicles than necessary. Take critical items only, medicine, your purse, wallet, and keys, only if they are immediately available. Take pets in pet kennels or on leashes. Do not use the telephone unless you need emergency services. This is a high-traffic communications area as well. And as I mentioned earlier, we are having difficulty maintaining a landline or a cell line connection. That would be the same for the firefighters and the support individuals. For online support, people needing assistance during evacuation are encouraged to create a profile online at ess.gov.bc.ca open. And people who have created a profile can now log into the online self-service registration tool to receive instructions on the types of support available and how they can be accessed. So here are some of the addresses in Peachland: 5268 to 5323 Bradbury Street, 4905 to 4996 Bradley Drive, 6580 and 6590 Boulier Avenue, 4948 to 5079 Elliott Avenue, 6311 to 6352. The list is long. You're advised to go to the Central Okanagan Emergency Operations to see if you are on there, but there are 325 addresses for the Monroe Lake wildfire have been ordered or on alert to evacuate because of the wildfire. There's also an interactive map that will show you exactly where it is.
Rob has just stepped away here from the camera for a second and is getting some juice here for our camera that's low in battery, so we can continue to give you guys the latest information. And as we know right now, just after 6:15 p.m., an evacuation order has been issued for 325 addresses due to this fire, which is now being called the Monroe Lake wildfire. The evacuation area impacts Princeton Avenue and that area around Princeton Avenue. A number of addresses are on the list, like we say, 325. A full list is available on our website, as well as CORD Emergency Operations. I believe it's cordemergency.ca. So you can head to CORD Emergency as well as our site here on Castanet for the latest. 325 homes are on evacuation order as of right now. This fire remains at 74 hectares in size. It's the latest mapping from BCWS. The wind has started to pick up again over the last 10 minutes. We know it's all hands on deck here. We've got the Kelowna Fire Department, West Kelowna Fire Department, Peachland, Vernon, BCWS, Lake Country. So everybody's here doing what they can to get a handle on this blaze. I don't believe we have an evacuation center announced yet, but that I'm sure is probably coming
with the Peachland Community Center
for the evacuees. Again, those in the area, you're reminded to check on loved ones and friends and family and do what you can. Even if you're not on evacuation order in this area, it's recommended to get a go bag, the essentials with you, so that if you do have to leave at a moment's notice, you're ready to go.